Alright, so it's a nice Saturday afternoon. A little bit of a breeze going on. It's not too hot. I'm going on a typical run. This trail's about 20 minutes from my house, so it's just a little bit of a drive, but it's really nice. We just started running out here about six or 7 months ago, but it's off the Wellbarn Road. If you take Albury Road from Fresno up kind of towards the casino, you turn on Wellbarn Road, come up here and you find this spot right here. It's a gate. You're just gonna park in the dirt shoulder here. I'm gonna run down this fire road here for about 2 miles, and then we will pick up on some single track. Then it'll be about 6 miles total from here to there's a little campground. Then from there we're probably gonna do another section where there's a ridge loop and come back. So the whole thing should be about 18 because we'll take a shortcut on the way back that has a lot steeper incline than on the way down. So I think that shaves off like 1.5 miles or something off the distance on the way back. So I'm gonna start heading out and get some video and show everyone, at least that lives in Fresno, if they drive out just a little bit further from town. You know, like I said, this is about maybe 20 minutes from my house, and I live around Cedar and Herndon area. So even if you're at Woodward Park, it's about a 20-minute drive out here, and it's definitely worth the drive. So here we go. All right, so now we're off. We end the trail. It'll be about 2 miles like this. Just a slight uphill at one point, then a lot of nice downhill. After 2 miles, we hit some single track trail. Okay, so about 0.35 miles from the gate where I left, if you look, you actually see there's some single track right here. I usually just look for that orange post right there. But that is actually the way I'm going to come back up at the end. It's a lot steeper climb because you're basically coming up to the same elevation, but you're cutting a lot of distance off. So I usually like to come up that one on the way back. Man, my left hip's really bugging me right now. Hopefully I'll warm up and it'll go away. But yeah, so on the way back we'll come up there and then it'll just be 0.35 back to the car. So you can either go down that way or I just like to take this. It's a nice road to kind of warm up on and everything. And it's 2 miles to the till I hit the single track, and that single track will be the same one that connects with the one that I just showed you. So right here, about 0.8 miles in, got a nice shot of the river. Just a nice downhill section from here until we get to the single track. All right, we're coming up on mile 2, right up to the single track. It's just up ahead right here on the right hand side. Okay, so you could see, I'm guessing there used to be a sign right here with a map or something, but it's not there anymore. Here's the track that we'll be running on. That's on the right side. There's actually another one here on the left. I've ran that a little bit before, but I believe that goes to Sky Harbor, connects to here off that track. But I ran it a little bit from here, but I'm not quite sure exactly where it goes. So I ran a few miles on it and just kind of turned around and came back here and ran more on this trail. But yeah, it's pretty nice. It's not too shaded, so in the middle of summer, yeah, just bring a lot of water with you. But yeah, we'll run on this for a little bit and hit where the single track that I mentioned earlier that you could run down meets up with this, which will be in just a little bit here. Okay, so we're about 2.65 miles in. This is where the trail splits off a little bit. If I go to my right, this actually goes back up to the fire road. So that shortcut that I'll take on the way up, this is the way I'll go right here. I want to keep going to the campground that's up here, so I'm going to go this way. So on the way back, the other way cuts off, I think, almost 1.5 miles, but it is significantly steeper, so I have to do that one at the end. When I was training for San Diego 100, there was one night that I came out here with Kyle. We ran out to the campsite area, then back, and then I met my friend Rudy Montoya. He met me at the top where I parked. We ran down the fire road, then hiked really quick up the that short single track, and then ran down the fire road, then hiked back up. And I think we did that probably 5 times or something like that, just to get used to doing that. And it was like, I think 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning when we were doing it, so just kind of getting used to running in the dark, walking up some technical trail, and getting some good practicing in. So now we're on the single track. My hip's starting to feel a little bit better, so I think I could actually run a little bit more. I don't think I'm going to have too slamming of a pace today, but sometimes it's just about being able to get out here and enjoy nature. So yeah, it should be, we'll be coming up to a bridge pretty soon, and really we have about, my Garmin says 2.8 miles right now, so about 3.25 till we get to the campsite. And from there we'll go on another trail, do the ridge loop, and then come back to where I parked. Alright, we're about 3.4 miles in, coming up to the first bridge, and I'm really hoping that during the winter time when it rains a lot, this will be a lot fuller. You can see a boat out there. I don't know if that's showing up or not, but yeah, it's a nice little bridge crossing. The next bridge we come up to will be after the campsite. I think it's like a mile and a half from the campsite. It's really cool, so we'll get some maybe take a picture or two of that bridge. But yeah, so it's nice to know that there's finally a trail like this to run on right by my house, or at least 20 minutes from my house. It's not too far of a drive. It's close enough not to have an excuse not to come out here. So it's a pretty cool view from here. There's a couple boats down on the lake or the river. So at mile 3.9, once while you get to one of these gates here, where they have spots right here we can pass through, and you can still open the gate. There's locks you could easily undo, but it's easier to walk through that. Sometimes when it's been cooler out, there's been cows out on the path, so I'm guessing there's a farm somewhere near here. But since it's been warmer out, I haven't really seen anything. Seen a couple deer a few times out here, some birds. Luckily no rattlesnakes, and I've come out here when it's been 110 or so. So yeah, luckily no rattlesnakes. But yeah, so just about 2 more miles to go. A little uphill right here till we hit the campsite. There's actually some bathrooms out there, spot to get water, which we believe is potable water. I think one time Kyle came out here, there was a sign saying not to drink from it, but we know if they're just working on it. But I think between myself, Kyle, and I think Nate and Eddie all drink from that water source too, so it tastes okay. Haven't got sick from it yet, but I'm not saying to drink from it. I'm just saying that I've drank from it a lot. Coming up on 5 miles, and generally from the car to right where this stake is right here is mile 5 on my GPS watch all the time. So we have a little bit less than a mile to the campsite where the bathrooms are. And it's pretty decently easy run from here. Nothing really uphill. It's just like a few couple rolling climbs, and yeah, pretty easy from here on out for this mile. Coming up on about 5.5 miles. See the trail's nice and just open right here. Not really any shade, but very nice views. Just kind of out right in the open. All right, parking lot's just over to my right. Just gotta hit the trail over here. There's a gate we're gonna go through, and yeah, I'll be at the campsite with the bathrooms. All right, so this is the one gate that we actually need to unlock here. Just make sure we close it. There we go. So parking lot's right there. Stop off and maybe use the restroom real quick, and maybe use the water spigot just to kind of get my hat wet and cool off a little bit. It's starting to get a little warm, but it's not bad. It's probably like mid 80s today, so it's a lot cooler than I'm used to when I go out running. Okay, so you can see there's some tables and stuff. This is the campsite. This is where we fill up with water usually. You got the restroom over there. This is like 6 miles in pretty much. And then the trail that we're gonna head out on is just, I'm gonna try to zoom in on it. Right there. Okay, so we're headed out on the second part of the trail here. I think it's about a mile and a half, and we'll hit the second bridge, which is a pretty cool looking bridge. It's pretty large, and yeah, then we'll run the bridge loop from there, and come back here and head back to the car. So we're just about 6 miles right now. I believe it's about 18 miles when we're all done. So I'm about a third of the way done. Been taking it pretty easy, about an hour 17 into my run. So I said earlier my hip on my left leg was kind of bugging me. It's a little bit better now, but yeah, I'm not out here to really run too fast today. I just want to kind of get away from town and just kind of enjoy being outside today on my day off from work. And my wife's working right now, so I figured I'll just stay out here, and by the time I'm done and get home and cleaned up, she should just be getting off work, and hopefully I'll time today pretty good. All right, so coming up on mile 7 right here, and there is the bridge that we're gonna cross right now. All right, so crossing the bridge, got the San Joaquin River right here. This is at mile 7, so it's a pretty cool view. It's amazing to think how many people will never actually be out here in person to see this, when it's really just a little ways, up the trail. Alright, so we're going to pick back up on the trail right here and start up on the ridge loop. See, this part here is a little bit more technical and rocky right now, but the whole thing is not like this. It eventually smoothens out and it goes uphill for a pretty good amount of time. I think almost 2 miles or 3, and it goes back downhill, so it's not too bad. Since it's a loop, it's going to end at the same elevation point that it started, so for all the time spent going uphill, there's going to be a decent amount of time spent going downhill also. There we go. I haven't seen a few cows lately, but there's a few of them right there, so kind of cool to see a little something on the trail. I haven't seen any people, so it's nice to at least see a few cows from time to time. Okay, about 8 miles in, a little uphill right here. Rolls a little bit, but I'm just kind of taking my time hiking up it. Looks like we're going to start running downhill. Yep, right now. So put this back away and get to running. Nine and a half miles in. I think I'm coming to the end of all the uphill part on this ridge section. So hopefully I'll be hitting some downhill here pretty soon and kind of start making up for all the time I've spent going uphill, and I'll run a little bit faster downhill. Alright, I'm about 10.25 miles in. Nice little downhill right here. Making up on a little bit of time that I lost while I was on the uphill. So a few little uphill rolling sections here, but nothing too great. But yeah, from here back to the bridge, it's pretty smooth. So this is the part of the trail that I really enjoy, just being able to cruise down. About 12 miles in. I think at mile 13 I'll hit that big bridge again, and then about a mile from there I'll hit the campground. So ran out of water in my bottles, but I have extra bottle in my backpack here. I'm probably gonna wait till I get to the campground because it's not too hot right now. I'm not feeling really dehydrated, a little thirsty, but not worth stopping and filling up right now. So I'm just gonna kind of keep going. When I get to the campground, I'll probably get a gel and fill up my water from there. And I'm thinking I should hit the campground. I believe it's gonna be at mile 14. It'll just be about 4 miles back to the car. And all will be done. All right, we're at about 12.7 miles. It's going down these this little rocky area here, and the bridge should be just the end of the trail here. You could hear the river pretty good from here. And there's the bridge. This is such a cool view. I like just walking across this and kind of just taking it in. So I'm about a mile from the campground now, so just kind of a little bit of uphill with a little bit of rollers, and I'll be back there. I'll fill up on water and get going back to the car. Alright, coming up on the campground, about 13.7 miles according to my Garmin. So I'm gonna fill up on water, then run the last 4-point-something miles. Okay, we're gonna hit up this water fountain on time before we leave. Like I was saying earlier, I don't know if it's supposed to be drinking out of, but it tastes really good, so I haven't gotten sick from it yet. Alright, so got my distance right now at 13.75. It's just a little over 4 miles back to the car, so it should be real close to 18 when I get there. Just left the campground, hit it back out on the trail right here. I like running this part here because it's a little bit faster on the way back to the car. This is all the uphill I had to do on the way out here. It's not going to be downhill except for that one last portion that's kind of a pain in the butt. But until then, it'll be fairly smooth running. Alright, coming up on mile 15. So just about 3 miles left to go. Alright, coming up to a nice downhill section. This part here I really don't like going up too much, but it's really fun on the way back. It's nice kind of rolling downhill, and it's very runnable, and it's kind of fast. So we're 16 miles in, and there was one day in the middle of summer, probably about a month and a half ago, I was out here with my friend Rudy Montoya, and we actually decided to go down the trail right here all the way to the water over there, and I think it was about probably 110 degrees out. It was a really hot day, and we just jumped in the river for a little bit and cooled off, and man, it felt super good. The water was really cold, and yeah, it was probably one of the best ideas we ever had during one of these training runs, was just to jump in that river. It felt really good. But yeah, it's about 2 miles left. I think it's about a mile until the section where I cut to the shortcut and go up the hill. So yeah, probably be there in just a little bit. Right now it's nice and shaded. It's starting to get a little bit late. The sun's starting to go down, so need to pick up the pace a little bit here. Don't want to get caught out here in the dark, which I should be done in plenty of time. I'm not really worried about it getting dark out too soon. About 16.25 miles in, and here we are up on the little bridge here. So almost done with our run for the day. Should be about 2 miles, probably less than 2 miles left. And then we'll be at the car. And today's fun training run will be over. So finally found my first snake out here. Not very big, but right on the trail. It's kind of minding his own business. So as long as he's not bothering me, I'm not gonna bother him. But yeah, first time actually seeing one out here. All right, so mile 17. Pretty much you could see my watch. A little bit of a glare there, 16.96. So pretty much right at mile 17, and here's the part that's not very fun. It's going to be a pretty decent uphill. I really can't remember off the top of my head if it's a pretty hard half mile or 3/4 mile, but we'll go up for a while, and then it kind of, there's a little bit of rolling hills that are very runnable, then a bit of a very, very, very short steep climb, and then I'm back on the fire road. There'll be 0.35 miles left to the gate. I'll be back at the car. So generally I just kind of do this like intervals. So I'll do one of two things. I'll either run for 30 seconds hard and kind of power hike for 30 seconds, or today, just because I'm feeling kind of tired, I'm going to run 20 strides, then I'll walk 20. So kind of the same concept, just instead of seconds, I'm going off steps. So I'll hike really hard for 20 strides, then I'll run for 20. I'll just keep repeating that until I get up to the runnable part. All right, at 17.3, so I'm 0.3 miles into this uphill climb. Not too much more to go. It's a pretty cool view. Right there, you can see the river in the background. A little bit closer to the top. Weird to think that we came from all the way down there. This part of it is just climbing, and more climbing. All right, so 17.54 on my watch. This is the tree here that I have to kind of duck under, and that's usually my reference for this section being done. So once I get to the top of this little hill, it is nice and rolling from here on out, down and up and down and up, and just very runnable and pretty nice and fast. So almost to the home stretch. This part's just nice because you just kind of keep going. The uphill's not too bad. There's pretty generous downhill on it. All right, coming up the last of the climb on the single track. You can see our orange marker. You saw that at the very beginning of the run on the fire road, which was right here. So just 0.35 miles left. So I'm just gonna walk a little bit up here, probably to one of these trees in the distance here at the top of this hill, and just run the last of it in. Be about a 1/4 mile. Once I get up there, I'll just jam it out and get to the car. All right, almost done. I can see the gate just right ahead of me. So it's always nice to see your your finish area. So and there's a lot of cows out in the field over there, but yeah, it's not too bad. I got 18.13 miles right now. It's probably like 18.15 by the time I hit stop here. But yeah, so that's the route I usually take for my training runs. I usually just go to the bathroom area at that campground and go back. But yeah, for the most part, that's the course out on Wellbarn Road that myself, Kyle, Nate, and Eddie, and Joe run a lot of the time. So, yep, that's it.